story being told inside my head. I'm too shy to.
It's all out already. Then I can just roll it. So you just take this stuff out and then I roll it. Good job. I'm going to continue drilling out the stuff.
Okay, okay.
Ciao.
Ciao.
So for the shelf, what should I do? I think I should remove the screws connected to the shelf first. Take off the shelf and okay. Can you hear the sound of ice cubes? That is Pat making me an ice coffee. It's my motivation.
Don't you know that life's a dance? Come take my hand and fly away.
I have iced coffee. Can you see my iced coffee? I love the sound of ice spraying. Such a little. Everything's removed from the bedroom except the curtains. We're gonna do that last. So now I just have to prep the walls for painting. So in our contract, which is also very normal in Munich or maybe Germany, you have to paint the whole apartment white before you leave, even if the walls are already white. Yeah, so we're just gonna have to paint everything, including the ceiling, white. So I'm gonna prep the baseboards by taping everything up. I'm taping over the sockets instead of turning off the power while we paint, because painting is going to take quite long and we still have food in the fridge to prepare meals while we work here the next few days, so that we don't have to eat McDonald's all the time. Okay. Tall person is here. We can remove the curtains. stores either. Like I read their website and they don't accept things like curtains or rugs, and I have a few rugs that just don't fit the new space too. They're still relatively new and all still in pretty good condition. So if you guys live around Munich, you guys are even slightly interested in that, you can tell me in the comments and I'll be really excited to have a little flea market booth. Command strips for the win. How long has it been since someone said for the win? I'm still living in the 2000s. Why are you so bad at this?
It's like dreaming on a day. Holding on to you. With a couple of champagne. It's focus on the couch with your favorite show. Just turn before the lights just to see you.
We got this magnet from Kyoto, and this one too from the aquarium. It's a cute little whale shark. My parents visited us earlier this March. We went to Denmark together and also Hamburg, so I got these two. I really like that this was all put up by Pet, and I like the randomness of it. Like, it's not perfect, it's not necessarily aesthetic, but it's just a wall of, or rather a fridge of memories. And these magnets, I edited pictures from our travels for, I forgot if it was our 3rd or 4th anniversary. This one is from Scotland, this is Singapore, this is Scotland again. This is when he brought me to the German Alps. This is a picture in our entryway. A very random but very pretty street in Bath. This is one of our favorite restaurants when Pet was still living in another city. There was a lot of Donald Duck stuff because Pet can do a very good Donald Duck impression. Which looks so naked now.